Okay, so now I want to play with the audio and add some various different stuff to jazz up my project. So there's a few different ways to add audio. One way is to import it the same way that you would footage. If you have music in iTunes, you can actually click the audio tab up here, which links directly to your iTunes library. So these are all the various songs that I have in iTunes on my computer, all right? And just like your footage, you can drag stuff in. Now there's two places you can bring audio. I can drag it all the way down on my timeline. I don't know if you can see this rectangular dotted bar with a little music note. I can bring it all the way down there. Or what I like to do is actually drag it in right above that dotted rectangle so it's linked to my footage. Do you see this little, there's a little green line that connects this music clip to this first clip? They're linked together. So if I move the clip it's linked to, the music moves. If I delete this first clip, the music deletes. Okay, that's easy to fix though. I can take my music and move it over and now it's linked to a different clip. So just pay attention to that link. So now to change the volume of any of the audio, I'm going to delete this music because we don't need it. So if I go on the waveform, this blue audio of my clips, do you see that there's this horizontal line going all the way through? That's my volume, all right? If I drag over it, my cursor actually turns into these two black up and down triangles, and it actually has a pop-up that says adjust volume. So I can adjust the whole volume of my clip down or up. Okay, so you see those yellow lines, that means that it's clipped. It's going to be really loud at those parts. Okay, so I'm going to put it back to 100%. I can also have the audio kind of like fade in or fade out by clicking these little circles on either end of my clip and just dragging it in. So now it's going to create like a nice little fade out and a fade in. But let's say there's part of my clip that I want to be quiet completely. Like let's bring our music back in here. All right, I'm going to bring, for let's say the most part of my footage, my music I want up, but here's where my characters start talking. I want to dip the volume down at that point. There are these things called keyframes that allow the computer to automatically animate a value between one keyframe to another. So if we put a keyframe at one part of the audio, which we do by clicking the horizontal bar and holding down the option key, you see I have this little diamond appear, that's a keyframe. If I put one here, okay, and then another keyframe a little bit farther down, I can take this second keyframe and drag it down. Do you see how horizontal bar kind of comes into a curve between the two keyframes? Basically what I'm doing is telling the computer at this keyframe I want the volume of this track to be 100, and when I get to this keyframe I want it to be at 1%. So the computer is going to animate between the two keyframes to get the audio to gradually go between 100 and 1%. All right, and the volume is going to stay at 1% until I put a new keyframe. So I'm going to put another keyframe here and then a final one here. All right, this second keyframe that I just added, I'm going to drag back up. Okay, so now I have a little dip in my audio, which is pretty cool. If I want to delete a keyframe, I can always right click it and hit delete keyframe. Okay, so let's delete all these keyframes. We don't need them. I'm going to delete this audio again. Now another thing you can do for the audio is detach it by right-clicking and hitting detach audio. Now maybe you want to do this because there's background sound from one clip that you want to layer under another clip, or perhaps you want to use the audio from one clip as a voiceover on another. So I could detach this audio and actually move it over just like I would with my music track. I can also adjust my audio up here. If you look at this little highlighted blue speaker that when I roll over it, it says volume, I can click on it and I have options like adjusting the audio automatically, so it automatically improves the loudness. The computer will just detect that. I can change the overall volume of a clip, or I can lower the volume of other clips. So iMovie will detect when there's another clip that's not the one I've selected, and it will automatically lower that volume depending on the value I give for the slider over here. So that's pretty cool, like if you have background music or something like that.